This time of year, when we learn Pirkei Avos on Shabbos afternoon after Mincha, reminds me of an amazing Talmud that we had here in the yeshiva many, many years ago. This Talmud, through most of the year, did not really do so much. He stayed up in his room. He followed sports. He tried to watch as many movies as he could. And in terms of learning, didn't accomplish so much. But when Choref Zman ended and he realized that most of the year was gone and he didn't do anything, so he said to himself, that's ridiculous. What a waste. I really got to get something done. And he came back, Kayetzman, after Pesach, and he really spent his time serious about his schedule and about his learning and yearning to learn more and to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu in his life. He ended up memorizing the entire Pirkei Avos, and that year Rav Jake ran a contest at the end of Kayetzman called Who Wants to Be a Mishnah? And this boy, this Talmud, so he easily won the contest. He knew the entire Pirkei Avos by heart. Rav Jake told me that he remembers looking out at the crowd when he asked this Talmud a question, and it was clear that the Talmud was going through the entire Pirkei Avos. Moshe Kibel Torah Misinai Mzar Yeshua. He was going through the whole thing in his mind by heart. And he saw that there were some other guys that were sitting in the audience, and they were shifting around a little bit uncomfortable watching what this guy was doing. And he posits that the reason why they were uncomfortable was because these guys, they're probably way smarter than this Talmud who memorized Pirkei Avos. But these guys didn't take themselves so seriously. They didn't take their time so seriously. And it was almost as if they were looking and saying like, hey, wait a second. He did that? He memorized the entire Pirkei Avos? I could have memorized the entire Pirkei Avos. This sheds light on a pshat that the Kutzker Rebbe has on this week's Parsha. The Torah tells us about Yom Kippur. Ki vayom hazeh yichaper aleichem l'taher eschem mikol chatosechem l'fnei Hashem titaru. Ki vayom hazeh yichaper aleichem. This day is going to forgive, will garner forgiveness for you l'taher eschem. Why do we have both these languages, yichaper lechem and l'taher eschem? Well, what's happening over here? What's the difference between the two? So the Kutzker Rebbe says, let's read the pasuk a little bit differently. Ki vayom hazeh yichaper. This day, you're going to get forgiveness no matter what. Hashem loves us so much, he says, I designate this day like an anniversary. I designate this day that all sins are forgiven. I have unconditional love for you. It doesn't matter what you do, I love you. And I'm certainly ready to forgive. However, there might be shadows, echoes of sins, remnants of sins, that even though Hashem wants to forgive because he loves us, but there's still some leftovers of remnants, as we said, of the sin itself. But it says the Kutzker Rebbe, Kivei Mazei Yichaper, Aleichem L'taher. It's on you, L'taher Eschem. It's on you to purify yourselves. It's on you to figure out who you are. What's genuine about you? And the only way that could happen, the only way that we could define ourselves, Alichem L'taher. It's on us to do it. Well, we end up doing it. That's the definition of who we are. There are no surprises. There's no, at the end of the day, bonus points. Who we are, the definition of who we are as people is Alichem, is on us. What we do, that is the definition of who we are. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us realize what our potentials are, what our capabilities are, and give us the courage to flesh them out so that we could be as great as we could be. Have a great Shabbos.